forward while making death balls. Eventually, the Protoss death ball reigns supreme.
Yeah. Well, wow. I mean,
you know, when you get a large air army like that, so the Tempests are going to get the first shot off on anything, right?
Yeah.
So when these two air armies are going to engage, Tempests always shoot first. When you have that many, they're going to obliterate some of the units. And second of all, you got to keep in mind, if you do decide to get that far engaged, then the Protoss has the option to charge up the Void Rays.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's really tough for the Zerg to actually engage that.
I mean, it's like, if you try to think about options, you know, if he had enough gas to make, like, 60 Hydralisks, like maybe 60 Hydras could just, like, charge in with that burst damage, but I don't even think that would even work necessarily. I mean, it's just, like, so much range, so much firepower, you know, at least the Tempest.
It was actually a really fun game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really different from your normal PvC.
Yeah, very unique.
I don't know if we can top that today, guys. Sorry.
Well, definitely not on Daedalus, man. I think we're going to see a pretty aggressive RorO. He's going to do sort of similar to the way he did against Stats. Try to punish Paralyze if he goes for a weird wall off. Probably not going to commit as much though, because that ended up being his downfall.
Remember, guys, the winner here goes up to face off against Stats. So
yes.
Whoever loses this is out of the GSL Code S.
Very sad place to be.
Indeed.
Well, this game decides everything. One of these two players is going to Code A. Weighing heavily on them right now, no doubt.
All right, game number 3 is ready. Everything's on the line right now. Will Paralyze win the underdog here, or will the champion reign supreme in this match? RorO, we're going to find out soon here at GOMTV.
RorO versus Paralyze.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, do not think we're going to see that again for quite some time.
No.
But that was fun.
I mean, you get a lot of players who don't know much about RTS games, and they'll say, well, you can't stop that.
Yeah.
And the answer is, well, you can, you just don't let them get there.
Yeah,
right?
stopping that is stopping that from
from ever getting there. Yeah, you can't let them get that many Tempests. And here's actually what RorO did wrong. If you can go back and look in that game, he was not able to get those expansions up at the bottom right. I think he lost something like 6 hatcheries to the Zealot warpins.
Yeah.
Although he had roaches to defend it.
Right.
When you have a Protoss making that army, yeah, it's big, it's scary, but it's also immobile. So Zerg could have actually secured the entire bottom right side of the map. But the Protoss, when it came to multitasking, was just very good.
Yeah, it was well played. I actually really enjoy that type of game. It feels like almost like a chess match. Like, especially once you run out of resources, like every piece becomes very important.
We don't see that happen as much in StarCraft II as well. We don't normally have the entire map nearly mined out or mined out.
Yeah.
So that was a real treat to see there. Now, on this map, Protoss want to be careful. Oh, that's right. In this match, it's actually where the players are next to each other. You could actually punch through there and kill the other player if you wanted to.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't want to do that.
I hope not.
That would be like...
That would be, well, not good for our show. Maybe good for our show. I'm not sure.
Actually,
depending on if ratings versus quality of sport. So let's take a look at this map here. Protoss is going to go for the wall in here. That's going to be at the ramp. This gives 3 specific locations that Protoss has to defend. A lot of wall ins. You can actually wall in with the Nexus. Also being covered with a cannon at the wall in, for instance.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not. So the Nexus cannon can't be as useful, for instance, here at the second base.
That's true.
And, even if going into, let's say, it gets in the late game and Zerg's making a bunch of mutos, this is another location that you have to defend.
Every Protoss player will decide, how they want to play this map. Either a wall at the Nexus, like we saw Stats do earlier, or a wall at the ramp. If you choose the ramp, everything is further away from your Nexus, like you said, harder for Mutalisk defense. And this is the choice that Paralyze has made, and this is something that RorO has already been able to identify here with his Overlord Scout.
Yep.
And he's making Zergling speed and a bunch of Lings. I wonder how much he's going to really commit to this. I don't think he's really going to, like, channel out, like, 15 Lings and try to break through, but it's a tough wall.
I mean, with him making the drones now, I think this is simply to control the Protoss, keep him in his base, keep the Protoss honest, basically, make sure that he's actually getting adequate defense, that he's not cutting too many corners here. The Cybernetic score now goes up as well.
Yeah, this map is
up that wall in.
just so interesting. The Lings are actually going to get in here.
He'll slip right through. He needed to at least have a probe there or something, and he didn't. And again, this is another problem because, like I was saying earlier, that entrance that could be is covered by the cannons. The Nexus isn't covered now.
Yeah, nothing is covered over here, and he's just going to lose mining time or lose probes. You know, pick your poison.
Yeah, we don't even have the mothership core started just yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have a.
In fact,
why?
This is like really bad here for paralyze. We saw RorO have some success with this earlier on. Now he's just going to run by and go into the main. That's a lot of lost mining time, guys. That hurts early on. I mean, for something that might not be necessary, try to get a probe over there to block that off. Yeah. Maybe have the minerals necessary to make a pylon to shut that out.
Now he's got speed, man, and this makes this sort of attack very deadly.
I hate it when this happens.
This is like
the worst feeling in the world.
Protoss player's worst nightmare, man. You're like, you just have the Zealot trying to chase, and you're like, well, I know he's never going to catch him.
He runs back over here. The mothership core is so clunky and slow.
This is like
that. I
don't want to say this is like game ending, but it's basically like
pretty hard to recoup from here.
It's a handicap that you have.
He runs back now over here with his 4 Lings still. But you have to keep in mind, Zerg is not missing a beat. Zerg is making drones. RorO is good enough that he's multitasking perfectly here. He wants to try to trigger the mothership, or the Nexus cannon.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough energy yet even. Oh my god, another probe. He can't even rally his probes to natural now. He just needs to keep them in his main for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, anything he has in between there is just not going to work. Stargate now on the way.
Ouch, this has been a tough opening here for Paralyze. This map is so difficult for Protoss to wall, but he definitely could have taken the extra precaution of leaving a probe there. That would have prevented most of this, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
He's finally going to clean this up. The Nexus cannon can be activated, just depends on which one he wants to use it on. But that means, again, that his mothership core has less energy later. Can't use time warps.
Can't poke out here. Not that he's going to be able to do that much right now after the amount that he's lost.
RorO's control is incredible. That's one of the
he's still got these 3 Lings alive.
I've always noticed about him since the very first day he played StarCraft II in our studio in Mokdong, man. His multitasking is on a completely different level. He's going to even maybe get another probe.
You can see he really wants to trigger that Nexus cannon.
15 more drones going up on this. Roach speed, Hydras.
I mean, honestly, guys, like if this happens and the amount of damage RorO's done, it's really hard for Protoss to do much here.
It's not even about...
Especially when you consider a lot of Protosses have liked 2 base timings on this map.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even about the workers lost. That's part of it, but it's about the tempo that this creates because all of your build gets slowed down. You
have workers that have stopped mining, so yeah, the tempo there is screwed up.
This Oracle is not getting anything done. Now he finally goes in here and targets. And this is pretty decent harassment here. There's no spores. RorO not expecting this one. He's going to lose, looks like 5 workers, maybe 6.
Okay, that's something to kind of put Paralyze back into this game.
Yeah, that was good. That was if there was a spore up there, that would have not gone so well. So he's like pretty happy about this, I would say. Third base is going up now as well, which is going to be difficult for the Zerg player to assault for a little bit because he doesn't have those Hydras out just yet. Robotics now started. He's getting more Void Rays. That went pretty well from last game.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is he going to get it from the side?
I think so. Oh.
Nope, gets away.
I think if he microed that a little bit better, he might have been able to catch that. Oracle lives another day. Is Oracle actually like a living sentient being, or is it like one of those robotics type units that's like more...
I would assume it's robotic, right? Like a
it has a voice though. Like I don't know. It may just be a robotic voice. Like none of the other robotics units do anything but beep. I don't actually know if the Oracle has a pilot.
This might be like the new version, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Guess I'll have to wait for Legacy of the Void to find the answer to that one.
Okay, well, Protoss does have that third up. And the gateway explosion is about to occur.
He's also making a ton of cannons. 5 cannons right now. He's not taking any chances here, which I really like. He's already seen the Hydralisk commitment. You know what? I think he can actually hold this. He didn't use that overcharge earlier with the mothership, so he's going to have that. He sees it coming.
He might just force out the Nexus cannon there and then just back off.
He only has 4 sentries really as a ground army and 3 zealots, which are basically irrelevant against Hydralisk.
Ideally, we don't have Colossi out already here.
Yeah.
So, and the funny thing is, yes, cannons, but so what? The angling here is pretty good for the Zerg. He's regrouping now with these Hydras.
I mean, force fields here are basically just designed.
Whoa! Got the mothership core.
That was bad. The force fields are basically designed to trap.
If you're Zerg, it's good.
Right, that's excellent. It's all a matter of perspective here.
Yeah.
If you can, fight the sentries on your terms outside of the Nexus cannon, then you can crush that army easily. But it's just he's having some trouble finding the right angle because the cannons are on the right side, so he can't fight near that ramp.
He is taking a fourth here. The Spire's so close to being done.
Right,
Thermal lance range is being upgraded.
I think he's just going to try to crush this base once the cannon's down. He's got roaches now to support. Or no, just a bunch of speedlings actually, no roaches at all.
And they're coming up here now. Again, the Colossi are not out just yet, so these Hydras are able to do a lot of damage here. Really nice arc here from the Hydras. Protoss now retreating back up here. One Colossus is out.
That hero Colossus tries to help out here, but it's just, I don't know, man. Is it going to be enough? He's killing a lot of probes now, but...
He did get the mothership core again, by the way.
You know what? He holds here. The question is it a good enough hold?
Well, see, he's got 15
Mutilis
mutas now, so that might be the nail in the coffin because, yeah, he does have 3 Phoenixes.
And he has a second Stargate.
But you got to wonder, the timing here for the mutas is going to be pretty strong, right? I don't believe we have any more cannons. No, we don't have any more cannons there at the third base.
One Stalker.
Yeah, one Stalker. And you need to have a high number of Phoenixes before the Phoenixes can really muscle out the mutas here.
Yeah, and you
also
lost
gotta
that
keep in
mothership.
Yeah, RorO's got very good control here as well, so you have to pretty much babysit the Phoenixes the entire time. And you know what? In this case, actually, Paralyze has managed to push us out with those Phoenixes. Nicely done. He's got very good control. We saw in some of the other games he was having a harder time with the Phoenixes.
Yeah, I feel like Paralyze really had his number on this. He was ready. He had the second Stargate up. And even a poor rally here on these Overlords might cost him. Looks like he's going to just try to go over there and do some harassment first. Knows he can get the Overlords on the way back.
Nicely done here by Paralyze, I got to say. I was really worried for him when those mutas were hatching here. Because, RorO's control has been so good before.
It's going to kill so many Overlords. Those two are going to go down here. You should get the other 2 on his way out back home. And the Phoenixes the Mutalisks aren't really a big threat to him anymore.
Yeah, in fact, he's going to complete map control here, shutting down any map presence that the Zerg had. Nicely done.
Here's the next issue, though. How does he take a 4th base? The 4th bases, both of them are, the possibilities to be taken are so far away. The 9 o'clock expansion and the 12:30 base, they're like super far away. I
mean, one thing is that, when you have a Protoss going air heavy like this, you can get in there with Lings and try to snipe them.
Yeah.
I think Protoss is just going to try to stabilize here.
Gotta take this base.
Goes in, takes that base right there. And again, when he took out all those Overlords on the map, it's hard for the Zerg to know what exactly is going on.
Yeah, that's why he's sending these Lings across now, because he needs to check. He's starting to come to the same conclusion that we are, just like, okay, the Protoss needs to take a 4th pretty soon here. And he will find this, but the Protoss expects this. And Paralyze has his units ready to defend, even having these Colossi here. This has been a really great series. This is my favorite series of today. We've
actually had a lot of good PVZs today.
Yeah.
We've only had PVZs today, but they've all been very good.
Yeah. We might even have one more after this.
It's very possible.
All right, so Fleet Beacon is out, but this time it's going to be for +2 air first before it's about any Tempest, because he doesn't really need Tempest right now against the composition he's up against, and it's very expensive for him. I don't even think he's going to get the Pulse Crystals upgrade because it's not really useful to him. I'm worried for RorO because he's like making more Hydras, but the answer to the Hydras has already been made. Like, he's already got Colossi.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a ton though.
That's true. He needs to identify this.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get in there, he has enough mutas, right, to draw fire from the Phoenixes. The Corruptors can try to get in there and just gun down the Colossus. I mean, Protoss definitely did deal with the Zerg Muta army early on. And so while he's taking this expand, he sends a Warp Prism, down here to the bottom right.
Yeah.
Now he wants to try to use this in case the Zerg army moves out like it is right now. You could send that into an expansion here and start warping in some Zealots. Kind of an odd moment here to see these Phoenixes have to take out these Corruptors, catching these off guard here. Meanwhile, it looks like he wants to go for the 3rd with not a ton of static defense here.
Yeah, are there enough Corruptors?
Well,
that's the question.
See, the problem is the Phoenixes are coming in here so late. The Colossi go down before the Corruptors even have to be dealt with.
Exactly, and that was that really hurts him here. He doesn't have any area of effect. the Hydras have so much burst damage, and they're going to kill this Nexus with relative ease. The Stalkers here will likely fall as well. He's going to kill that Colossus,
and
maybe?
See, he knows exactly what he needs to do. Take out the rest of the Colossi. The Hydras reign supreme on the ground. He regroups now, heads to the center left location. Only 4 cannons there to defend, but not before covering his Corruptors on that path down there.
Yeah. Well, wow. I mean, this is he didn't realize how many Hydras there were. I guess he didn't have enough Colossi. GG.
Nicely done there by RorO.
What a great series. I really enjoyed that.
We're going to have a rematch, Wolf.
We are indeed. RorO will now face Stats in our final match to decide the second and final round of 16 Code S player.
Well, you know, I got to give props to Paralyze.
Yeah.
He played very, very well. Expect to see a lot more of this guy here in the future.
Just goes to show like how high level these groups are. If this guy gets 4th place with like how well he just played.
Yeah.
I mean, these players, all of them, are excellent. Protoss versus Zerg, or Zerg versus Protoss, whichever way you look at it, players, you know. It's been a great day, and we're going to get that 5th and final PVZ.
Who wins here next?
I want to say RorO. I want to say RorO.
Actually, I think you might be right. I feel like Stats' builds were good, but
maybe predictable. A little bit of holes in his early game.
I feel like RorO has just been very good at responding and reacting to his opponent.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to go to that match after this short break, so stay tuned.